Hey Julie, so you were wondering, how do you put these three legs on your table equally spaced? Oh, Cosmo, be quiet. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to make a little table. By tracing around this Pottery Barn PB White made in Thailand microwavable and dishwasher safe plate. So there's my table. Now this tabletop, I don't know the size of it, so I'm going to try to figure that out. So I'm going to figure that out by marking a point on the end here and moving this around till it's got the minimum measurement that I can find. Let's see. There's 6 3/16. Sorry, it looks like that's 6. Oh, sorry, not 3/16. What am I saying? That's 6 8, 9, 10, 11/16. This is 6 8, 9/16. This is 6 obviously, I'm going to have a little trouble finding this, but it looks like it's probably really close to 6 11/16. So I'm going to say it's probably 6 11/16. 6 11/16. Now, if that's the diameter, then the radius is half of that. So it's 3 5.5/16, which really kind of sucks, but I'll go with it. So now 3 5.5/16 is the radius, right? So if I mark that point and I say 3 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5/16, it's just about there. Let me draw a couple of those points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5/16, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5/16. So it goes through there. If I take another point, in particular, if I take a point, I don't actually have to measure the center, but I do to get where the legs appear, but I do to be able to cite where along that line the legs will appear. You'll see in a second. If I measure from here 3 2, 3, 4, 5.5/16. See if I've got this right. 3 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5/16. That mark, let me measure 3 5.5/16 this way. 3 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5/16. That's going to be pretty much the center of the table, because both of those points are the same distance from the edge of the table, right? So now, I'm pretty sure that's just about the center of the table. But I'm going to do another thing here, okay? So I could measure straight through here and do this, but I'm going to measure 3 5.5/16 4 more times. 3 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5/16. Right there. Okay. And I'll show you what happens now. Also, I'll measure 3 5.5/16 from here. 5.5. Oh, look, that's right there, right at the middle of the table. So every one of these marks is essentially this. I got that off a little bit. Ooh, I'm so bad. I didn't measure that right. Okay. Every one of these triangles that I'm going to draw is equilateral. It's got 3 same sides. The thing we know about these equilateral triangles are the sides are the same and the angles are the same. And all the angles are 60 degrees. So most importantly, this angle from here to here is 120 degrees, which is 1/3 of a circle. A circle has 360 degrees in it. So what I can do now is I can say, look, carry this on out to the edge over here. There are numerous ways to do this, right? I can work on the lines that I've drawn, or I can draw more of these 3 and 5 1/2/16 distance points. But these 3 lines trisect that circle. Each of those has 120 degrees of arc. And now what I can do is measure the same distance, whatever it happens to be, so you have to decide this distance, the same distance along those lines, and I can say, aha, this is where I need to place my legs, some distance from the edge. The same distance along the radius that I've drawn, the radius that bisects the circle, same distance for each of those legs. Now you may say, where should I put those legs? Especially, I recommended that you might want to get some angle supports for the legs. Those are these little plates that have a threaded hole in them so that you can have your leg come out at an angle. If you want to measure those angle supports, what you want to do is you want to put your leg in the, screw it into an angle support, prop it up against the wall, and measure, say, the far edge of the angle support. So here's your floor. Okay, now this idea is I've screwed, here's the angle support, I've screwed the leg into the angle support, I prop it against the wall, I measure from here to the wall, see how long it is, maybe it's 10 inches, whatever it happens to be. I measure to the end of the angle support, I measure that same distance along my radius, I put the angle support down, I mark the drill holes, mark them on the table, drill them in, stick the angle support there, and then when I do that, the edge will cut, the table leg, when I turn it upside down, will come just to the edge of the table, which gives it the maximum distance between the legs on the floor for stability, but it also doesn't extend beyond the edge of the table. So it doesn't, you won't bump into it if you're avoiding the table. You won't catch it on your foot. You might want to put it in a little, because some people say, you know, I want the table to extend a little beyond the legs. So you might want to put those in a little bit. That's okay. You decide what you want to do. Anyway, good luck, Julie.